Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and if you like the signing of Damarious Randall, I want you to like the video right now. Let's show our man some love. Let's show him how Raider Nation gets down. I expect this video to get over 2,000 likes. So let's talk about what happened late last night, and I wish I could have gone live. It's something that we normally do, but guess what? I sleep too. So the deal that went down last night was Damarious Randall. He signed a one-year deal. For this team, you're adding a defensive back, a safety, and I like the deal that it is a 1 year. As soon as we get the contract details, I'll fill you all in. In my opinion, though, I think he was arguably the top free agent safety left. I made a video on our main Chat Sports channel about the top free agents left, and I had Damarious Randall as the top safety there. The fact that he's going to play free safety for this team, I like this a lot. And when you look at what Randall has done just the last 4 years or in his entire career, his past 2 years with the Browns were pretty solid. I'll say his best year personally was back in 2018. But for everyone that's going to be throwing stats in my face, I get it. That he didn't have any interceptions last year. But last year was the first time actually in the last 3, 4, 5 years, in fact, that he didn't have at least 3 interceptions. And when he first came out of college in Arizona State, he played cornerback. He then had to move to safety because he was a better fit there. One of the biggest things that I love about Damarious Randall is he does have some versatility. Now, let me just say this. For the Raiders, if you try to do what you did with LaMarcus Joyner, I don't think that's the best case scenario. Let's put Randall back at free safety and just let him do his thing. Please? Can we all agree on that? Okay, if you're watching this video on YouTube, I appreciate everyone who's tuned in. You might get hit with an ad break. While the ad is playing, I want you to scroll on down, okay? And we're Raider fans, so let's be honest with each other. I want you to grade the signing. Damarious Randall, 1 year. Is it an A, B, C, D, or is it an F? So who exactly is Damarious Randall? I've gotten the question a bunch on Instagram. I've gotten the bunch on Twitter where apparently I'm not as popular as what I think I am maybe on Twitter. But a player who has bounced around, has played some different positions since being drafted in the first round, 30th overall by the Packers. The Packers, when they originally got Randall, again, they were kind of flip-flopping him between corner. Then they put him back at safety where I think he really kind of found his own home. And in 2019, when he really became just an overall, I'll say, box safety, is when you really saw Randall take that next step and really started to emerge as a player that, well, we were talking about now as being a serious contender for this football team that we have. Now, I think if you're trying to put him in best case scenario here, I think that he's best fits in a cover 1, maybe cover 3 system. And again, I want him to play back at free safety. I understand that he offers some versatility. I understand that he can play, slot. But the best chance for him to be the most successful with our team is to let him back there with Jonathan Abram. And when you have a single high safety like Damarious Randall is, that also gives the ability for a player like a Jonathan Abram to go up and also kind of play linebacker, to go up and blitz. Speaking of blitzing, Damarious Randall, he can also do that. So if you love the Raiders Report, I appreciate if you would hit that subscribe button. Also, if this is the first time you've ever watched us, we go live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. So make sure you turn on those notifications, every single time we go live. But we do a lot of stuff here. We do news. We do rumors. We're talking about the draft, free agency. And if you want to stay as up-to-date as possible on the Silver and Black, go down, click that subscribe button below. Let's keep the show rolling here. Okay, so let's talk about maybe some strengths of Damarious Randall. Versatile athlete. You're going to see it, and you're going to see the speed. He ran a 4.4540, I believe, at the Combine. Yes, it was back in 2014. But if you watch the tape, you'll see that Damarious Randall does have some speed. Then, I love his effort. I love his toughness. And I'm telling you, y'all are going to see the effort, okay? Especially as a tackler, which I think is very important for safeties, especially in the NFL now. And he's just going to look to punish receivers when they get the football. If you want somebody who is just a Raider, Damarious Randall, I'm telling you right now, he's looking to lay the wood. And yeah, giggity. But I will say that is a little bit of a weakness in terms of his game. The other thing, though, that I love that he can do, he's a man player, like in terms of coverage. And then also blitzer, he can bring the blitz. You're just looking at a player who can, when he gets the chance, pick the ball off. He can tackle. He can do a lot of things pretty well. So when I think about the overall strengths of a Damarious Randall, I know that the Raiders really wanted to bring in a player with some versatility, with some grit. and he's going to show up every single play. He's going to give it his heart. He's going to give it everything he has. So for me personally, I was really stoked when I saw this deal. But with strengths, you got to talk about some weaknesses. So let's dive into some of these weaknesses now. I will admit that I think he's a little bit undersized in terms of the safety position, and he is aggressive, and I'm okay with being aggressive. But if we're looking for a weakness, he does get beat with play action because he is looking to make the big play. And when he does make the big play, he normally actually takes it to the house. The dude was a punt returner and actually a little bit of a wide receiver back in college. But the other thing is he does miss some tackles. And when I watched Damarious Randall's tape, so if y'all play Madden, this is my analogy. When you're really, you're playing and you're really trying to do the hit stick, sometimes you miss a tackle because you're really trying to just lay somebody out. Damarious Randall tries to hit stick people and once in a while misses. That's part of his game. But guess what? I like the toughness. I like the effort. And for us going out and getting a player who is only 27 years old, who was a former first-round pick, I really, really do like this signing. So with going out and getting Randall, to me, he is an instant starter on this football team. And I have him back there at free safety. And if the Raiders try to do with him what they did with Joyner, I don't really know if that's going to be the best case scenario. I would leave Randall back at free safety, let him play single high man, let Jonathan Abram come up and start laying the wood. But in terms of both players, I am really, really excited to see what this football team is going to be able to do. And I am really excited that Randall is a part of this team. And as you can see on the depth chart, well, I'm going to get to him in just a second. Eli Apple, he is no longer on this team. So I found these awesome deals this morning, and I'll be honest, I went to bed last night, had a few drinks, had a good time, and woke up and I was like, oh man, these deals, am I still drunk? I don't know. But if you use promo code 39SHIP, you can get this hat for only $18.74. It's like up to 65% off. Also, if you want this kind of hat, it's $28.49. You can see it at the link below, chatsports.com/RaidersHat4. If for some reason, because alcohol will do this to you, if you forget what the link is below, I'll put it in the comments. I'll put it in the description below. But if you need a new Raiders hat, hey, I got you guys hooked up. So with the Damarious Randall signing, that happened just a few hours after this news came out about Eli Apple. So Eli Apple is no longer with the team because originally his deal of 1 year, $6 million of that was guaranteed. That fell through the cracks. And when Apple was signed, I think it was the first move that I was really like, I don't know if I can totally wrap my mind around why we went out and got the former first-round pick. Because when you talk about Eli Apple, you also got to talk about the off-the-field issues and his, issues inside the locker room. Because let's face it, Eli Apple does have talent. I mean, you don't get drafted in the first round if you don't have physical gifts. Like, that's just period. The real issue with Apple has always kind of been he hasn't really been able to fit into a locker room. And I think the reasons why this deal fell through was, one, I think it was a little bit of a pride thing in terms of Eli Apple. And I also think it has a little bit to do with the whole Big C issue because of physicals and because of all the other extra complications that happen with this. So if you watched my videos and if you are subscribed, you'll know when I had Eli Apple in my free agency video, I gave it a C+ because it was a good signing in terms of depth. He was never going to be a starter. In my opinion, he was going to be like a cornerback 4 for us on this team. I gave it a C+ because when I saw it, we got a player who has started 51 games over his 4-year career, but it was just going to be a solid depth move. And overall, I'm not too upset that the Raiders are moving on from Apple, because if y'all would have told me, hey, Mitch, you're going to get rid of Eli Apple and you're going to go out and get Damarious Randall, I'd be like, all right, where do I sign up? Show me where I need to sign up. Because losing Apple to me is not really going to be that big of an issue, because you're looking at a player who I'll say maybe is a top 60 cornerback in the NFL. And I mean, here are some of his stats and coverage just last year. He gave up 621 yards, 3 touchdowns. He didn't have any picks, 4 pass breakups on a New Orleans Saints team where, yes, he was better with the Saints than he was with the Giants, but I still think you're looking at a player who thinks that he is that 10th overall pick that he was back in 2016. And, hey, Eli, I'm sorry, but you're just not the apple of my eye. So how do you guys feel? All right. Type H for happy or type S for sad. I was on Twitter late last night. I was on Instagram. If you guys don't follow me there, please do, at Mitchell Renz 365. But I saw a pretty pretty equal amount of emotions where it seemed like everyone was pretty happy that Eli deal fell through. I'm typing my H as well, so go down there in the comments section below. All right, now let's talk about some of these free agent moves that have happened and, well, all the moves that we've made because we've been really, really active. We got Jason Witten, Malik Collins, Jeff Heath, Daniel Ross, all former Cowboys. And as you can see, the Daniel Ross deal is still TBD. Once we get the details, I promise y'all, I'll get you hooked up there. Also, you can see down there below chatsports.com/RaidersHat5. I'll give you that deal one more time because it does end on Sunday. Let's talk about some other moves that happened. Absolutely love the Corey Littleton move. Nick Kwiatkowski, Marcus Mariota, Carl Nassib. I think when you look at this free agency, you're going to talk about these 4 signings probably the most the entire season. But wait, we are not done. We also had 4 more moves here. Nelson Aguilar, the 1-year prove-it deal, vet minimum. Really kind of like this. Nick O'Leary, Eric Kush, Damarious Randall, all members of this Raiders football team. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And remember, I go live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific.
Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.